Hello, Professor Zawala. Again, today we are going over another section of the West African Examination Senior Secondary School Certificate Mathematics Examination for Liberian schools. Today we'll be going over another subsection of algebraic processes, and that will be section A of algebraic processes. And it has to do with formulating algebraic expressions from a given situation and to evaluate algebraic expressions. Now, there are some very important basic information we want to provide to you prior to actually starting, engaging problems in this. And so, some of the things that are important is how do we formulate an algebraic expression? What do we need? So, one of the most important things is that we need to know how to identify keywords. What are keywords here? Some of the keywords would be words that point to the operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, roots, and powers. Then one of the things, once we have those, we should look for words that will tell us about an equation or an inequality. And then we must assign variables and formulate the expressions, the equation, or the inequality that we can solve. Okay, good. So here are some words that will indicate some of the different processes. We have words for addition, subtraction, multiplication. It's very good to familiarize yourself with some of those words. Underline those words as you read expressions or phrases. Now, additional words for division, roots and powers, and equations and inequalities. So our first problem here, and we're going to put it on the board, it says evaluate an expression. So we have an expression here which we should evaluate. Number one, we have the expression a squared minus b squared minus 4c when a is equal to 5, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to 5. So the first thing we must do in evaluating is to substitute. Now, I want to advise that you make it a habit of introducing a parenthesis as you substitute. It kind of eliminates the likelihood of an error or minimizes it. So I'm going to put another parenthesis in here and replace b with 3 squared minus 4 and create a parenthesis to put a c which is 5 and close that parenthesis. Now, we must use the rules for BODMAS. That is, we must deal with powers first and multiplication, division, moving down to addition and subtraction. So I have 5 squared, which means basically it's 5 times 5, which is what? 25 minus, in here I have 3 squared, which is 9 minus 4 times 5, which is what? 20. Now if I'm using BODMAS, which is bracket of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction, then I must take care of what is in the bracket first. So in the bracket, I have 9 minus 20. And that is going to give me negative 11. So basically, I'm saying 25 minus 11 can be computed by doing 25. You add the opposite. The opposite of negative 11 is 11. And this is going to result in 25 plus 11. That's going to be what? 36. So we have our answer here to be 36. Basically, substitute, perform the operations. Let's move to number 2. I know it's kind of hard to see over there again. And we are doing the same similar process here. We're evaluating x squared plus y squared over x squared minus y squared when x is 4 and y is negative 3. So we're going to do the same thing. As we are substituting, we will create parentheses for wherever we have to substitute. So first thing, we must replace x with its value, which is 4. So we have 4 squared plus y is negative 3, so we have negative 3 squared. And then we have x again is 4 squared minus y is negative 3 squared. So what do we have here? 4 squared is 16 plus negative 3 squared is 9 over 4 squared again is 16. Then I have a minus 3 squared is 9. So 16 plus 9 is 25. And 16 minus 9 is 7. So we have our answer, which is 25 over 7. We cannot further simplify this, so we're going to leave our answer just as it is. So let's move on to number 3. So in number 3, again, it's another problem. It has to do with evaluating. It says given x is equal to 1 over 5, x is equal to 1 over 5, and y is equal to negative, and y is equal to 2. We must evaluate, we have to evaluate the expression 2x y to the negative 1 plus 4 over y to the negative 1. Now there are several things we can do. We can apply, for now, I think the best thing to do is to substitute for this case right here. Let's redo that. I'm going to open bracket, put a 2, create opportunity to put in my substitute, negative 1 plus 4. Now for this, I'm going to bring the y up and write it as y to the positive 1. And I don't have to put the power. The rule I'm using this here, the rule that gives me that, it says a to the negative n is equal to 1 over a to the positive n. Likewise, 1 over a to the negative n is equal to a to the n over 1. In this case, the 1 is redundant, so it could be that way. Now, we're going to substitute. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses. X is 1 over 5. Y is 2. Close parentheses to the negative 1 plus 4. And y is 2. So let's see what do we have in here. So what we have here is 2. I can put a 1 under here and a 1 under here. I have 2 times 1 times 2. That's going to be 2. 2 times 1 times 2, that's going to be 4. 1 times 5 times 1, that's going to be 5. To the negative 1 plus 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. So what then do I have here? 5 to the negative 1 is the same as saying 1 over what? 4 to the 5th plus 8. So this becomes what? 5 over 4 plus 8. And let's do this. Well, we can make this a fraction. Let's find the least common denominator here. The least common denominator is going to be 8. So I could write this as 5 times 2 over 4 times 2 plus 8. Well, no, I'm sorry. The least common denominator here will be 4. So I'm going to write this as 5 over 4 plus, it's going to be 4, and this is going to be what? 32. You can see that 32 divided by 4 is 8, so we haven't changed anything. And now I can add the numerators to have 37 over 4. So that is what we're going to have for problem number 3. Let's move to problem number 4. Well, number 4 happens to be a problem, a word problem. So it's a man bought 3 suits for $D each, and found that she had, oh well, it should be he had. So we can just strike that up. He had $L left. Write an expression for how many dollars did she at first start. So it should be a woman bought. So we're going to just strike this out right here and say a woman bought. So let's see. Well, number 4. So each suit cost D dollars. How many suit was bought? 3 suit. So the total cost for the suit will be 3 times the cost for each. So it's 3D. Now, so if she had L dollar left, so the money spent plus money left will give us the total amount that she started with. So how much money was spent? 3D. How much money did she have left? L. So the total amount of money that she had, that she started with, was 3D plus L. That would be the expressions for that. So let's move to number 5. Again, another word problem. Massa is N years old now. How old was she Y years ago? So now is N. Y years ago is a past. So that's going to be minus N minus what? Y. So Massa was what? N minus Y years old Y years ago. Let's move to the next one. Say an agent receives 6%, X% commission on each sale on P and Y% commission on each sale on Q. If this total sale for a particular day was 2,000 and 7,000 for products P and Q respectively, what was the commission of the agent? So, well, let's see how we can do that. So let's do this. Let's make a little table. Let's put the product over here. So we have 2 products, P and Q. Let's put the rate of commission. The rate of commission is, for P, the rate of commission is X%. For Q, it is Y%. So to determine the total sale, we must, to determine the amount of, what was the commission? To determine the commission, we must multiply the rate, having changed it into decimal. So that means it's going to be like X over 100 multiplied by the total sales for product P, which is what? $2,000. And the same thing, we'll do Y over 100 for the total sales for Q, which is $7,000. Now we can see here that this will cancel with that, and the same thing, and this will cancel with that. Just 2 of the zeros will cancel. So to find the total amount that the agent received, the total amount of commission that the agent received, we must add the commissions. So the total commission received is basically 20x plus 70y. So that's kind of easy, very basic process. So this concludes our discussion concerning evaluating basic algebraic expressions. Thank you. This has been a production of Foundation for Equity and Excellence in Liberia, a foundation committed to providing quality content education for every Liberian child.